So, Creative Contessa here. Tonight we're going to be learning a dance called Amoroso. This is a 15th century ballo. It's known in the manuscript sources, or it's called a ballo francese, which means a French dance. Why it's a French dance, we don't know. There doesn't seem to be any dance that corresponds to this in actual French sources from the same period, so your guess is as good as ours, I suppose. So this dance is brought to us in two different versions, in two different manuscripts. And I'm working from the original Italian, I should say a transcription of the original Italian for both of them. So there's a very popular version floating around in the Renaissance dance world that is actually not faithful to either of the versions that have been handed down to us through the centuries. So my goal with these videos is to present to you two different dances that are similar but different, rather than this strange amalgamated version that is floating around, this Frankenstein's monster of a dance. So the first one we're going to do is actually, to me, the more interesting, more elegant, and therefore more complicated version of the dance. And then we'll go to, in a different video, to the simpler version, which is closer to the version that's floating around the world these days. So, we're going to start from the very beginning of the dance, which is the basic footwork. So, of course, as usual with my video series, if you need more in-depth footwork training, there are individual videos which will be part of the playlist for this video, where you can go and drill footwork until your face turns blue and your ankles break down completely. That's up to you. I will briefly now review the footwork that we need for this dance, and the advantage of a video is that you can press pause and rewind also until your fingers fall off. Up to you. So, as usual with dancing, the most basic step of all is the sempio, a walking step. We've been doing this hopefully most of your lives. In general, just so you know, we're going to be starting with our weight on our right foot, our left foot is free. And so if the music happens to be in 4/4, which it is for this dance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then walking at that tempo ends up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and join me. Da 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 da. Come up on the balls of your feet. Da 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 da. Step da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. So those are sempi passi di natura. Sometimes they're called natural steps. Also in English, singles. Next level up from that is the doppio, the double. And this is not just two singles in sequence. That is not a specific step, that would just be two singles. The doppio is called the doppio because the steps are double as fast as the single step. So this would mean that if you have 4 counts of music, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then each of those counts is a step. So like this. Step, 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 pause. And there is a pause on the 4th count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and join me if you haven't already. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to come up on the balls of your feet. That's the front half. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. Now to add a nice float to this, as we say, a gentle wave. We start flat on our doppio, and then we rise through it, and we go flat at the end. So, it will look like this. Again, weight is on our right foot, left foot is free, that's a general rule. So we're going to go up, up, flat, up, flat, up, flat, up, flat. Go ahead and join if you haven't already. Flat, up, flat. In one of the sources, this is described as the gentle waves of the Venetian canals. Up, flat, up, flat, up, flat. So, in the same source, there was also a step called a piva, but curiously, the word piva and doppio seem to be used interchangeably. A piva is described in the sources as a doppio, a double, that is altered and accelerated by the music that stimulates the dancer to it. Therefore, it makes sense that a doppio would be maybe considered in a transcriber's mind the same as a piva, or the piva as a species of doppio. So the 15th century dance vocabulary is still evolving. Brief moment of pedantry here. Dance vocabulary is still evolving, and so that means that certain terms are not quite as hard and fast as they might be in, say, the 16th to the 17th century sources. So we have to actually kind of relax about what terms are used for what specific step, and accept that multiple terms can mean, in fact, the same thing. Language is beautiful and varied, and also sometimes regional. Also, copyist error. Never discount copyist error. A lot of copyists weren't actually literate. They literally just copied the letters as they saw them, and if their eyes jumped to the wrong place on a page as they were copying, well, you end up with some interesting texts that way. Okay, pedantry error. So, moving back to our singles and doubles, our sempi and our doppi. So let's go ahead and put our sempi and our doppi together. So we'll practice our first sequence of steps. So the first sequence we're going to practice is 2 sempi, 1 doppio, and 3 more sempi. Okay, so 2 singles, 1 double, 3 more singles. I'll demonstrate first. This is how it will look. Again, weight is on the right foot, left foot is free. So we're going to go single, single, doppio, single, single, single. Okay? Let's try that again. Weight is on our right foot, left foot is free. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Da 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 doppio, da 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 da. Okay, one more time. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio, single, single, single. Okay, so if you need more practice with that, feel free to rewind, practice again and again and again, pause and practice on your own, your choice. Okay, so the next sequence we're going to practice, alternating our singles and our doppi or piva. We're going to do 3 of those doppi or piva, and a sempio at the end. So that would look like this. As usual, left foot is free to start, and da, 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 step, 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 and step. Or, in other language, pi-hi-va, 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 step. Okay. This time with counts instead of whatever options I just used. Left foot is free, and 1, 2, 3, pause, 1, 2, 3, pause, 1, 2, 3, pause, step. So, the very beginning of the dance, the actual first part of the dance, starts with a progression of piva or doppi about the floor. Now this dance, as you saw in the demonstration, is for couples. And the opening part of the dance is either going to be, ideally, 12 piva, possibly 8, depending on the music. The music that I have available tonight is 8. There's a long story as to why that is, pedantry for another time. So, if you have live musicians, instruct them to play the first part of the music 3 times. If you're recording, you just have to know what's coming. And if you have live music, pay close attention, because what you think is going to be played might not be what actually ends up coming out. Musicians sometimes lose count. The more inebriated they are, the more unable they are to maintain a count. Personal experience talking. Okay, so let's talk about the opening progression. So this is where we have a partner, so I'm actually going to bring my partner in for this part. And let's talk about opening orientation. So, in a couple's dance in the 15th century, the person who is on the left is the leader, the person who is on the right is the follower. In general, as gendered by the sources, the men lead first, the ladies then follow first, and frequently there's a repeat of the dance in which the ladies have somehow taken the lead. That is definitely the case in this dance. So, the thing is, the leader actually does lead certain things, not just in terms of going first with bits of the choreography, but during these opening progressional, processional piva, the leader should actually lead and guide the couple around the floor. So for the purposes of starting with the basics, let's just do 8 piva, 8 dopey. Remember, trying to get the idea that these are actually synonymous in this dance. We're going to progress around the floor, just in basically a sort of racetrack. Now, in the 15th century, the manuscript illuminations and miniatures and cassone and other artwork depicting people dancing, nearly always, when it's multiple couples on the floor, they show them dancing in a counterclockwise rotation with the ladies on the outside. So that's how we're going to demonstrate this. Okay. And so if you don't have a real partner, pretend you do. Notice hand hold. Hands are low. This is Hollywood. This is historic. This is really bad, 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 bad on the follower's wrist. I mean, just all kinds of evil can happen here to those connective bits of tender tissue. So, we actually have to maintain a little bit of contact here. So he's not gripping my fingers so hard that they fall asleep like he is actually now. But there's connection. There's an elastic connection. So there's enough tension in my arm that if he walks this way, I feel and I follow him, right? I can just feel where he's going based on the connection we have. So if you have spaghetti arms, so if you just completely let your arm relax, then, right, I can't respond. So please, no dead fish arms. Dead fish stink, metaphorically and in reality. Okay, so let's go ahead and practice with our either real partner if you're lucky or your ghost partner if you're not. 8 of these piva, 8 of these dopey, so 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Da 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 da. Okay, let's go and practice that with music. Gosh, I'll go and cue up our jolly musicians. Oh, to have live music again. Really? That's how you're going to play this? Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it shall be counted. Let's try that again. Okay, so brief intro, you'll notice a very brief intro, and just in case I'm turning the volume up. So, moving on to part 2 of Amoroso. So, the basic format of this dance, if you paid attention during the demo, is that we dance together in the opening procession, and then the leaders leave with a sequence of steps, and the followers imitate them. The leaders leave again with a sequence of steps, the followers imitate them. And there's this big solo, the leaders get their solo, then the followers get their solo. And during the follower solo, there's this big coup d'etat, and the follower takes the power. So that's your basic format. So we're now on to the first of what I call the chase sequences now. Great halls in the courts of Italy are massive. They're fantastically huge. They've got endless amounts of space for dancing. So they can just dance when they're separating from a partner straight ahead, and they've got plenty of dance floor. My little private apartments here, though, are not quite that large. So we are going to be dancing on the round here. So rather than just leaving and dancing straight away from our partner on any of these separation sequences, we're going to be dancing around our partner. Also, this is a good tactic if you ever end up dancing on a crowded ballroom floor, which does happen with this dance quite a lot. If you dance away from your partner and truly straight away from them, then when you turn to face them, you'll probably be hard-pressed to ever find them again. So dancing close to and around your partner with these various sequences of steps is a good strategy for actually having a more intimate dance on an otherwise non-intimate floor. Okay, toe boxing done. Now to the footwork for section 1. We actually briefly reviewed the first sequence, our first separation sequence, during part 1 as part of our Learn the Basic Footwork section. Okay. So Amoroso comes with a really rousing song of dance vocabulary. So this part of the song goes, single, single, piva, step, step, step. Step being a synonym, again, for single or sempio. Okay. So how does that look? Weight is on our right foot, left foot is free. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, da, 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 and step, step, step. Let's try that one more time. Weight is on our right foot, left foot is free. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, piva, step, step, step. Okay, so I'm going to bring my partner out now, show you how this will work with a partner. So again, first time through the dance, if you actually have a man-woman couple, the men should lead first. He's on the left, therefore, left equals lead, and women are always right, except the second time through the dance, they're not. Let's not philosophize too deeply about this. So, with that sequence of steps, we'll demonstrate, so just watch, and then you can try it the second time through. So, the leader is going to, in this case, because of the intimacy of our space, as I mentioned, I'm going to have the leader actually go around me with that first sequence of steps, and then I will immediately mimic him by going around him with that same sequence. So, 4 for nothing. Just watch. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, piva, step, step, step. Single, single, piva, step, step, step. So, brief musical note, you might have noticed that musically that ends up being 2.5 bars of music per person, and you are correct. Welcome to the pre-Bachian era of music that doesn't all have to be perfect whole measures. So, the point of that is that there is not this big pause between the leader doing his chase and the follower doing hers. Okay, let's try to do it together now. Okay, so in the position, 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, piva, step, step, step. Single, single, piva, step, step, step. Again, 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, piva, step, step, step. Single, single, piva, step, step, step. Okay, let's do it with music now. As always, if you have need of more review, you can pause and practice, 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 and then move on with the video. Okay? So with music, let's do a nice intro from the last piva. Ready, leaders. Single, single, piva. Step, step, step. Single, single, piva. Step, step, step. Okay. And music is relentless. It does continue. There's more to the dance than just this. Okay, let's go ahead and put together the procession with section 1, with the first little chase sequence. Okay, so we're going to do it from the top all the way through to that point. So to review, we have either 8 or 12 or some multiple of 4 piva at the beginning, dopey. And then we have leaders going around with single, single, doppio, step, step, step. Followers going around, single, single, doppio, step, step, step. And again, for academic honesty, the going around part is my floor pattern, my tool for coping with less floor space than I might like to have for this dance. If you have a big, huge great hall and the floor all to yourself, then by God, have the leader leave and really make his follower work for it. Okay, so we're going to dance it from the top. We're going to do that one more time. From the top. Is part 2 of our dance. Review as necessary. So we're on to section 3 of Amoroso. This is another chase sequence, another leader and follower teasing, flirtatious sequence. So at this point, I'd like to make a note about eye contact. So there is actually, in the manual from which this dance comes, there is actually a discussion about how men and women should conduct themselves on the floor, specifically instructions. And while the women should be modest, it does say that it is undesirable for them to constantly cast their eyes at the floor and not bother to actually engage with their partners. So eye contact is important. Now, perhaps you shouldn't stare at your partner the entire time, unless you know them very well, because honestly, unbroken eye contact can be very intimidating if you're dancing with a stranger. Social tip. Okay, so the next chase sequence has a different sequence of steps, but we've already practiced that as well during section 1 of our dance. So the next chase sequence, the footwork, also it's a song and lyrics. So the lyrics are ki-hi-va, step. So also happens to be our footwork. So again, weight is on your right foot, left foot is free. So let's go ahead and practice that little sequence, 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ki-hi-va, step. Okay, let's do it again. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ki-hi-va, step. Okay, so let's now do it with a partner. If you have an imaginary partner, they'll be right at hand. If you have a real partner, hopefully they're at hand as well. Again, in the original, the instructions just say the leader goes forward, the follower goes to find them. Again, we have this more intimate space, so I'm adding the floor pattern of the leader going around the follower, then the follower going around the leader, to both add elegance, given the constraints of the space, and provide a certain intimacy for some light courtly flirtation. You shouldn't touch shoulders to your partner while dancing, that's not appropriate. Duly chastised. Okay. So, for the second chase sequence, the follower will go, the leader will go around the follower with the 3 piva and a step, and then immediately the follower will go around. So we'll demonstrate, just watch so you can get an idea of the timing. Okay, 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pihiva, 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 step. Pihiva, 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 step. Let's try it together. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pihiva, 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 step. Pihiva, 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 step. So we're now going to try it to music. Just this chase sequence, third part of the dance, or the second chase sequence, depending on how you want to think about it. Okay, so we'll do it with the music. A little bit of intro music. Ready, and pihiva, 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 step. Pihiva, 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 step. Let's try that again. So you will notice that you'll get more comfortable the more you practice these sequences, but I can almost guarantee you you're going to dream about this dance tonight. Most people do. It's a traumatic experience learning this dance for a lot of people. Okay, so again, exact same thing, just that second chase sequence with your partner. Okay, I'm going to take a moment now to engage in the beautiful world of pedantry and talk about the piva. So there is a certain school of piva out there in which people want to make that second step a shorter skipping step, no matter what the music tells them to do. And this is why I'm trying to emphasize here that a piva is a species of doppio, and that piva takes its shape directly from the music. So if our music is ta-ta-ta, 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 sort of this slow, quick, slow, slow, quick, slow, slow, quick, slow, then you might have justification for making that second step shorter, da-da-da-da-da-da, thereby creating a sort of impression of skipping even though you're not actually skipping. Right? That's because the music is syncopated, has this slow, quick, slow rhythm. Right? But the music for Amoroso is not syncopated. It is in 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which makes it really easy to evenly divide your steps over that music. Hence, instead of skippy piva, each step should be evenly distributed. Right? So if you're used to doing this syncopated piva, please really try to break yourself of that habit. Let the music inspire you to it rather than forcing a shape on the step that doesn't align with the music. Okay, enough soapboxing. That has been section 3 of this dance. Moving on to the grand solos. So, section 4 of Amoroso. We are at the end of the dance. This is the last and final section. Well, we're at the end of the first round of the dance anyway. I shouldn't lead you astray. So we're going to learn a new figure, probably the quintessential figure in dance. This is a figure that conveys so many potential emotions. It's not really a step because you don't really go anywhere. This is called the reverenza. Say it with me. Reverenza. Reverence, honor. It's not described with any sort of real clarity in the sources because everyone knew how to do it. So they apparently didn't really feel the need to describe it in any kind of detail. We know that it usually takes 1 whole bar of music, and it does in this dance as well. And we know that in a lot of dances they talk about doing one low to the ground. So doing something low to the ground means probably you're not doing this, which is a very 16th century sort of, 16th, 17th century sort of reverence. We do have pictures of people performing a reverence before someone of higher rank, and nearly always they're doing this kind of genuflecting thing, right? So the leg comes back and you do a lunge. And as you notice, that actually does allow you to, if you need to, get very low to the ground. So that's how we're going to do our reverenza. So let's put our weight on our right foot. Our left foot is free. And we're just going to slide our left foot back, dip down to a point from which you can successfully recover, and then come back up again. Okay. Now let's try that in time to the music. So in this dance, you get 1 bar of music. That, remember, 1 bar is 4 counts of quarter notes, so that's not very long. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, which means 2 down and 2 back up again. So I don't expect you to go very low on this one. So let's try it with the music. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try it again. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now for balance's sake, even though it doesn't get done in this dance, but let's put your weight on your left foot, free up your right foot to practice the reverence on this side. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try it again. 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the reverenza. There's actually one dance, which is entitled The Rude Woman, in which the woman does a reverenza after turning her back on her partner. So, I guess, like I said, it can convey a variety of emotions. Okay, so this section, the 4th section, is the grand solo. And the basic geography is that the leader is going to go away from their partner and then do a reverenza separated from their partner and then do this sexy little circling figure, ending separate from their partner in this very teasing sort of figure. And then their partner will follow them, hunt them down maybe with the same steps. Okay? So, you basically, no you don't, I lie. You need to know and learn a new sequence of footwork for this. Still working with our singles and our doppie, our singles and our piva and singles. No new footwork, just different order. So the 3rd sequence of steps you need to know, right? The sequence is, just listen, single, single, doppio, single, single, doppio. So let's go ahead and practice just that sequence, just moving around the floor. All of you, your partner, everyone's separate, just practicing the footwork. So weight is in our right foot, left foot is free. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. Okay, let's try it again. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. Okay, now I want you to put a pivot, a mezza volta, a half turn on the end of that final doppio. So just to show you what I mean, that final doppio is done on the right foot. That means it's going, that half turn, that mezza volta will look like this. 1, 2, 3, and you pivot on that foot. So that last step, 1, 2, 3, turns into a pivot. No extra footwork at all. You still want your left foot to be free. So let's go ahead and try that. 2 singles and a doppio, 2 singles and a doppio, ending with the mezza volta on that. Okay, weight is on our right foot, left foot is free. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. Okay, one more time. Weight is on our right foot, left foot is free. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. Now, we will all practice. We're going to keep building the sequence here. Just going to practice the footwork. Let's practice putting a reverenza after that half turn, right? If you recall a reverenza, this is why it's important that your left foot is free. Reverenza, we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and try that. There are 2 singles and a doppio. 2 singles and a doppio, half turn, reverenza. Weight is on our right foot, left foot is free, and single, single, do-be-o, single, single, do-be-o, rev 2, 3, 4. Okay, one more time, just practicing our sequence. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, do-be-o, single, single, do-be-o, rev 2, 3, 4. And the last bit of footwork that we need to practice, we actually know the sequence. The sequence is the same as our second chase, which was, anyone? Maybe, hopefully someone got it without me telling them or reminding you. Okay, the second chase sequence was our 3 piva and a single, right? That was the da, 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 da step. But in the grand solo at the end, this time we really will, it actually says to use that to circle over your left shoulder, right? So let's all practice taking those 3 piva and a single step and just making our own beautiful sweeping circle over our left shoulder. For now, ending back in the place where we started. Okay? Weight is on our right foot, left foot is free, 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1, da, 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 da. Okay, so let's now talk about geography. For this, I'm going to bring a partner because it will be more easy for me to demonstrate with an actual human instead of an imaginary one. And I have an actual human with me. So, for the purposes of practicing this, we're actually going to, I apologize, sort of put our backs to you-ish. Right, okay. So for this one, I, as much as possible, given your space and the crowding of the floor, it's nice if there is actually some distance between you and your partner. You can swing it. So what's going to happen is, geography-wise, leader's going to go away with that 2 singles and a double, 2 singles and a double, half turn, and then facing, we will all do a reverenza. So let's practice just to that point with the leaders going away with the 2 singles and a doppio, 2 singles and a doppio. Half turn, reverenza. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. Rev 2, 3, 4. Nice. Now, as you may have noticed, my partner did something very elegant. Instead of waiting till the very last minute to do a sharp mezza volta, a sharp half turn at the end of his second doppio, he actually sort of made this nice little snaking, arcing figure that allowed him to end facing me. Okay, just watch this time, just watch him. We'll do it again. I just want you to watch and see what he does. This is another way to ensure that you end facing at the end of this separation without having to make a really sharp half turn. So just watch. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. See? And then we do a reverenza. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's another option rather than having to do a sharp half turn on the very last step. And this being the Renaissance, curvilinear is very much in fashion. Okay, so let's do it together now. Just that first bit of the leader's solo, the first half of the leader's solo. Okay, 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. Rev 2, 3, 4. Okay, one more time. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. Rev 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now, my partner, my leader, is going to tease me with that circling 3 piva and a single step that we also just practiced over his own left shoulder. So he's just going to circle and end up back in place where he is right now, facing me, over his left shoulder. When I say over a shoulder, that is the shoulder that is in the center of your circle return, just to be clear about terminology. So, leaders, I'm going to have you do your little circle. You should end up where you are right now at the end of the circle. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Piva, 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 step. Okay, let's try that again. Follow leaders, put your weight on your right foot. Left foot is free. You practice your circle. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Piva, piva, piva. Okay, let's have the leaders come back to their followers. We're going to walk through the entire lead solo, just the leaders half of the solo. We haven't done the followers half yet. Okay? So, to recap, leaders will go away, 2 singles and a doppio. That again, meaning 2 singles and a doppio times 2. Should end facing their partner, either with a dramatic mezza volta or sort of snaky curving figure. Then we all do a reverenza. And then just the leaders circle over their left shoulder with 3 piva and a single. Okay, so let's go ahead and practice just the leader solo. Okay, 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. Rev 2, 3, circling, doppio. Piva, piva, and step. Okay. Excellent. So now followers have to find them. We can just let them run off like this. I mean, it is a bit rewarding bad behavior, but we'll let it slide this time. We take the power and then it's all fun and games from there. So, followers, you get, in essence, the exact same footwork. It's just your directionality that's different. Because obviously we're already facing each other. When I go to him with those 2 singles and a double, 2 singles and a double, I don't have to do a half turn to face him, unless you really want to make a point. See the earlier comment about the rude woman and her reverenza. Okay, so followers, we're going to approach our partner with the 2 singles and a doppio. That again, we'll all do the reverenza. Let's do it just to that point. So followers, ideally, just watch. Single, single, doppio. You should end up right in front of your partner. And then we do a reverenza. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try that together. 4 for nothing. Followers ready. Weight is on your right foot, left foot is free. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. Rev 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try that one more time. Later, followers, go back to where you were before you chased after your feckless partner. Okay, weight is on our right foot, left foot is free. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. Rev 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm going to do the same circling thing that he did over my left shoulder with 3 piva and a single step, but just watch what I do, just watch. I'm going to go around like this and come here and end to his left. And just like that, the wheel of fortune has turned and I am in ascendancy. Yes. Okay, so leaders, or followers rather, place yourself in front of your leaders. Left shoulder, right? If you hold your hands up like this and look at them and make L's looking at the back of your hand, the one that makes the L is your back of your hand. Right. Okay. So, footwork is 3 piva and a step to end up to your partner's left. And actually, because I don't have live music and the only recording versions I have is a little bit too short. So this particular recording and several other recordings and versions don't actually have the last little half bar of music, which means you don't get that final single step, followers, which means you really technically by this music only get 3 piva to get all the way around to the left of your partner. Okay, so just focus on 3 piva to end up to your partner. You can always do something if you have more music, but it's better to be prepared for less music. So weight is on our right foot, left foot is free, followers. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. Okay, and if we had longer music, then we'd get a nice little single step there. Okay, so let's try this. Contessa didn't say. Let us try just the followers solo. Just the followers solo. So followers, come back here. Come back here. We're going to do the followers solo all the way through with no pauses. Okay, so to recap followers. 2 singles and a doppio, 2 singles and a doppio to end facing your partner. Everyone does a reverenza. And then the followers circle over their left shoulder with 3 piva and a step if there's enough music to end up to the left of their partner facing forward. Okay, let's go ahead and try that. Weight is on our right foot, left foot is free. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. Rev 2, 3, circling, doppio. Doppio, doppio. Okay, one more time for the followers. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. Rev 2, 3, and circling, circling, da, da, da. Okay? So let us try that whole solo now. Leaders going first, then the followers, right? We'll do it from this angle so you get it from a different angle. Leaders, put yourself back on the left, or followers, put your leaders back on the left. Okay, so to recap, leaders go away with single, single, doppio, single, single, doppio, ending facing your partner. Everyone does a reverenza. Leaders circle, 3 piva and a step. Then the followers catch up. Everyone does a reverenza. Followers circle to take the left position, the lead position. Okay. Remember, Contessa's #1 rule of dance is fake it till you make it. So if you have to choose between doing the right footwork and doing the right geography, geography is always the most important thing in my school of dance. There are plenty of people who would vehemently disagree with me on that, but you're in my dance class, not someone else's, so what I say goes. So if you have to choose between footwork and geography, pick geography. Screw the footwork. Naughty language, Contessa. Okay, so grand solos, leaders go first, then the followers. 4 for nothing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. Rev 2, 3 leaders, circling, 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 and single, single, doppio. Single, single, doppio. Rev 2, 3 followers, circling, circling, circling. And then you're ready to start again. Okay, let's try that solo now with actual music instead of my oh so dulcet and in tune singing. So prepare yourselves, assume the position, leaders in the left, followers on the right, and we'll have a little bit of lead-in music to lead off on the solos. Specifically so that the followers are now the leaders. The ladies have now taken the lead, which means that the second time through the dance, What do you think is going to happen that is different? Hopefully one of you said the ladies lead, and that's correct. So what I'm going to recommend now is that you review the entire tape, the entire videotape. Wow, I don't know if it's tape anymore. You review the entire video from the beginning with the leader, the followers now practicing the lead role and the leaders practicing the followers role, so that you're really comfortable. Or you can just slam through and see what happens when you just randomly have the leader suddenly become the follower and the follower suddenly become the leader. It's your choice, because you can review as much as you like, the advantage of digital technology. So we're now going to put the music on, and we are going to dance it all the way through twice. You can dance it with us, you can watch, you can do whatever. So that has been Amoroso, version number 1. Stay tuned for the video series with version number 2. If you've enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like to participate in other sorts of creative events, including dance events, live and live in person and live via video, please check out the Creative Contessa on Facebook. I have a whole calendar of events scheduled. Let's get creative.